Got a minute to talk about making comics? Hi, I'm Jay Sheik, comic book artist, illustrator, art professor, and today specifically I wanted to talk about books about making comics. And a few that I have in my collection that I think are worthwhile, they're worth your time. So we've got a very short time to cover a bunch of things, so let's get into this. Kicking things off with a bona fide classic, we have Will Eisner's Comics and Sequential Art, and this really is the volume where Eisner created or coined that term sequential art to describe comics. And this has been sort of the mainstay. I think of this as Joseph Campbell's hero's journey for comic book artists. Definitely something that I think every comic book artist, writer, whomever should have in their library, at least as a starting point. Next up, and just as important, I would say, is Scott McCloud's trilogy on comics, which he began with Understanding Comics, expanded with Reinventing Comics, and then more recently did Making Comics. If you had to get any one of these, I would get Understanding Comics. If you're going to get two, get Making Comics. It has a lot of overlap with Understanding Comics, but there's some practical exercises and a few more specifics that are geared towards people who are making comics rather than just reading them. DC Comics has also produced some excellent books. Some of these are a little bit harder to find, like Denny O'Neill's book on writing comics, the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics. If you can track this down, well worth a read. The other one that's a little bit easier to get still is DC Comics Guide to Inking Comics by the immortal Klaus Janson, who's worked a lot with Frank Miller in the past. Just a wonderful inker, and these are great also. This one is a bit of an outlier, but short of being able to take classes at the Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD, they put together this Foundations in Comic Book Art, which covers everything from drawing, penciling, inking, coloring for both traditionalist and digital comic book artists. It's not an overly long book, very nicely put together and organized. I definitely recommend this one also. If you favor a more structured approach to making comics, Jessica Abel and Matt Madden's Drawing Words and Writing Pictures. This was actually a required text for a sequential art class that I took as a graduate student when I was in school. So definitely a great book to have in your library, and they have a sequel to this as well that expands on the exercises contained in here. This is another bona fide classic and one that I recently added to my own library, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Something I'd wanted since I was a kid, and I was actually kind of surprised to find out that my own method to drawing comics is remarkably similar to what John Buscema outlines in these pages, with little bits of text by Stan Lee. It's a very easy read and very full-featured. This is another really good one, and these go for like 10 bucks on Amazon. Highly recommended. Well, I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time, but that's a selection from my library of books on making comics and books that I have benefited from greatly personally. What are some that you've read, maybe that aren't in my collection? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you've been reading, and maybe I can add them to my library too.